Alright, so how you guys doing? We're super doing well night in today's video. Back again, of course, with another Barn showcase, and using him on a team which is probably by far one of my favorite teams in the game. Honestly, from the day this Ludociel dropped, he has been just top 3 favorite units, and I don't know if that'll ever end up changing. Now, unfortunately, just with how much of a pain the deer raid is, without Jormungandr, of course, we are going to get her next week, and I'll be able to grind the deer then without losing my sanity, but we don't actually have the Ludociel Holy Relic, which is a huge shame. Honestly, helps that his passive so much. If you guys don't know what the Ludociel Holy Relic does, pretty much doesn't have a special effect, just increases his basic stats, which then in turn gives him more CC and allows his passive to work even better. We have enough of the river sources, but it's just going ahead and actually getting the Valkyrie stones, which is, once again, such a hassle, something I'm not really bothered to do. If you guys don't know what the passive is, decreases defense-related stats of enemies with combat class lower than the hero by 40% for 3 turns in PvP. Honestly, makes for one of the just greatest fast-paced units in the game. Honestly, cannot get over Ludociel, but another unit that works really well with Ludociel is Death Pierce. Now, Barn being pretty much the newer version of Death Pierce, he works with pretty much any DPS team. He works in the back, and not only does he support your attack ability, but also supports your defensive capabilities as well. Having a look at his passive here, increases all allies' attack-related stats by 10% and decreases all enemies' pierce rate, crit chance, and crit damage by 15%. So a straight buff to attack-related stats by 10% is honestly huge, helps out every character in the game, even characters like Kusark who have the cleave effect. You know, they're unable to crit, therefore Death Pierce is pretty much null and void to them. Barn can fill that role. He also has extremely nice CC ever since he got the substat buff along with this new Ragnarok Barn. His CC is so well, and the fact he has a Holy Relic also helps his case out a whole bunch. Unfortunately, we only have him 2-6 and not a crazy amount of dupes, and having a look at the gear here, just your regular HP defense set, nothing too special, but with Barn CC being much greater than the Death Pierce, we can run a team like this and sit just shy of 330,000 CC, which is pretty good. Not absolutely absurd, but honestly, if I had a couple milestones in the box CC, like if I had the 10 million box CC, we could easily sit at the 330 milestone. But anyways, here's the team we're using today, and let's jump right into it. And here we go, let's see our first opponent, and actually running into a mirror match with the King. I went ahead and purchased that costume, but I still haven't gotten around to using it yet. But I mean, despite the fact we don't actually have the Ludociel Holy Relic, still managed to out CC his entire team, so as long as he's getting that done, you don't really need anything else. Droll Association helps so much for that character, and I mean, this is pretty much what we're going to be seeing throughout the entire showcase. Like, teams like this, honestly, just make me so goddamn happy. Like, how is this not just the funnest way of playing the game? Like, I know that probably sounds bad, but it's just amazing. There's nothing beats it, really. But the reason I don't actually have the Ludociel Holy Relic as well is honestly so ridiculous. I've been grinding box CC, as you know, and was going through, I had enough Holy Relic materials for a character, and at that time, even on the JP version, we didn't know we were just going to get a whole plethora of Holy Relics drop at the same time, so I knew, you know, actually, at that point I think we did, but I don't think we knew we were getting the Ludociel one. But anyways, I knew we were getting Barn, and obviously good association for Barn as the King, especially since he gets like the combo Fate link, and you can get the extra 1000 CC. I was like, why not? I'll give the OG King Holy Relic, you know, it'll be fun, extra CC for him, extra CC for go through as well, which is like a really big thing. I was like, hey, why not? There's no way I could fall for this. And like, if so, I'll just grind the deer. So I went ahead and made that one, and then yeah, Ludociel Holy Relic dropped. So unfortunate. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm definitely happy I invested into the King. At that time as well, we were getting the OG Fest King Holy Relic in the next update, so only just managed to get that one as well. I ended up getting that a little bit late, but hey, I'm sure as of next week, the second we get Jormungandr, believe me, I'll have all of the deer grinded. I can actually go ahead and get those materials, the Valkyrie stones, without losing my mind. Let's go ahead, buff King, and can we still one-turn anyone on the Barn team? Even though we're type advantage, I think the HP pool is just way too big to actually get through in one turn, which is crazy to think. Oh, actually, yeah, no, we're definitely getting through Alpha. God damn. Kill Terry as well? Yeah, God. Ouch. And I mean, the second we get out CC'd, we're probably going to end up just getting absolutely floored. What can you do? Actually, the Ludociel right now, as I have him, besides dupes, is literally the same as when he released. I'd saved up so many materials as a free-to-play that I knew, like, I already had the 15% gear made out. I, you know, was obviously going to UR gear him straight away. Had enough gems for all of his cosmetics, and like the second cosmetic materials, like the upgrade materials released, I went ahead, I knew I was going to like fully max out Ludociel before anyone else. At the time I did only have 1/6, I did have to go quite a fair few gems into that banner to actually go ahead and get him. Just like one copy of him, but we do now have him 6/6, which definitely helps out in terms of his actual passive. And we actually have leaks on the JP version as well of brand new Ludociel animations, and it's not like the actual Margaret Ludociel, it's the one we're using in today's video. So really hope we get a new version of him. Of course, that'll mean, you know, the Holy Relic will transfer over and whatnot. Fingers crossed it isn't something like a final boss or something like that, because they do end up, you know, actually doing stuff like that. I believe when we got like the Demon Brothers, the Esterosa and Zoldra's final boss, he did get like an extra ultimate animation and stuff along those lines. You know what Netmarble's like. And actually, speaking of, you know what Netmarble's like, there's been a thing on the global version, like a post that's been made about the upgraded terms of service, and even at a first glance reading it, I was like, oh my god, so much of this stuff looks so ridiculous. And at this point, you know, Nug's already made a video about it, and, you know, pretty much everyone's gotten to the information, but there were just a couple things I was looking at when going through it, which I was like, oh, this could actually be, like, true. And that was the... Oh, what do I want to do in this turn here? Hold on, 1 second. Definitely want to throw out the Pumpkin Bombs as well, make a maximize card draw. But was the... I think it was the holding to bank details. There was so much of it I just read over, and I was like, yeah, this is never going to happen, right? But there were definitely a couple points there. Now that it's actually been, like, fully read and, you know, Nug actually went through and read the original terms of service, so much of it is just, like, oh, so, like, over dramatic and over the top. Like, don't get me wrong, there are a couple things, but, like, at this point, like, we already have terms of service, and most of the stuff doesn't look like... All I'm trying to say is it's not, like, a huge change, and honestly, I think the post was more just to gain attention, so there's that. Also, look at Ludociel Patiencing there. If he could keep those buffs, that would be... Oh, hold on, this is... You're about to see some big damage from our boy King here. Gets the extra attack buff from the AoE card. Removes the debuffs as well, along with the Ludo passive. Can we get a 2 mil? A 3 mil? Ouch, now that hurts. But yeah, definitely not a topic I wanted to make like a full video on. I figured it was more just like a little side interesting thing I could talk about during another video. Like, there was some stuff in there that was just so far-fetched. One about losing your account or like being banned if like you go into PvP matches and you instantly forfeit due to the fact that you've been out CC'd. So many players do that, and it's such a stupid thing to lose your account over. But anyways, really interesting team here actually. Don't know where he's getting the debuffs for the Awakened Lilia. Maybe through the Shin Holy Relic, but it doesn't actually look like he has it either. I would really like to grind up Shin. There's so many of the OG Holy Relics as well, or I shouldn't say OG, but the Bird Holy Relics that I haven't actually gone ahead and gotten. Still missing out on characters like the Lolly Merlin, and I even had to grind up the Barns for the actual Ragnarok Barn release, so it doesn't take crazy long, and like with the fact that we have Miguel the Holy Relic, it's pretty consistent farming now. It looks like he's using the Green Sariel Association as well for his debuffs there. We get the forfeit anyways. All these matches have been so insanely fast, so we'll do an extra one. And if you guys have any team suggestions, by all means let me know in the comment section down below. I mean, I could even just go ahead and revisit a whole bunch of the Ludociel teams, because they're honestly so much fun. Coming up against the best team in the game here. Can we get a nice one-turn wipe? I mean, the chances of us killing Kyo here, with just how insanely squishy he is so likely. The King, rank up King turn 1 is so powerful, and I'm honestly not too sure. You definitely do a little bit more damage with Ludociel. Oh, we ended up killing everyone. I might do an extra match on top of this one, but I feel like you definitely do more damage with Ludociel, but the damage reduction from Kyo is very nice, that's for sure. Like, he is still such a good character. It's a real shame that, like, there's probably not going to be any more chances to get him again. And if only I had my Barn cosmetics maxed out, because there's still like a nice 3, maybe even 4k that I'm missing from his CC, so if that was the case, we'd be hitting that 330,000, which is ridiculous to think. Only managing to out CC King here. The fact that we'll probably be able to kill him turn 1 is really nice, and the fact that we're going to do so much damage to Diane is really nice as well. If you don't get a whole bunch of damage up on her before she actually gets that taunt up, she builds up the grey buffs, she becomes so powerful. Honestly, I think it was Sora that said this. Fully built up Diane in PvP can feel way stronger than fully built up Trader Meliodas. The damage she does, the ult drain, the taunt, like, she becomes ridiculous and impossible to deal with. It gets like that 5 turns, she's got more grey buffs than even like Trader Meliodas and the Bird and whatnot. I'm sure you guys have seen it before. She is OP, but wrapping up the video on a forfeit as well, which is pretty nice. But there we go, that just about does it for today's video. Always a whole bunch of fun using the Dociel, and the fact that I can revisit so many of these teams, and probably end up revisiting a whole bunch of his teams with this barn is so nice. I can see myself using this barn for quite a little while, and who knows, maybe I will end up actually investing into his cosmetics, because I did go ahead and buy these 3 extra UR weapons just to help his CC out a little bit, but yeah, I do have a couple extra upgrade materials. Investing into the SSR ones is a bit iffy, but there he is. That just about does it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please hit the like button, subscribe. Really means a lot to me, and I'll see you guys for some more Grand Cross content.